back to Where I Long to Be, a magical trip report podcast. I am your host, Virginia. If you are new here, I'd love it if you could make sure to check out the podcast website, which is whereilongtobepodcast.com, to find out a little bit more about who I am, find past episodes on basically every kind of trip you can imagine, or to provide feedback either in the form of a message or by writing a review. That's right. If you've already rated and reviewed the podcast on the podcast platform of your choice, you are always able to leave another review directly on the website. And I happen to have a new review that was left through the website from Kelly, titled Bring the Magic Home. Kelly says, "Are you missing Disney? Here is your cure. Listen to Virginia and keep the magic alive. This podcast has so much information and is a fun listen. Even as a self-proclaimed Disney superfan, I still learn a lot." Thank you so much, Kelly, for that review. I really appreciate your support and thank you for taking the time to do that. It really does mean a lot. Before we get into today's post-trip report episode, I just want to remind everyone that next week will be the last episodes of season 4 and that I will be taking a 2-week break because of a work trip I have coming up to Anaheim. Yes, home of Disneyland, so of course I will be getting some park time in while I'm there. Season 5 will begin on July 7th. All right, it is time to welcome back Nats from her big Orlando holiday. Nats was traveling May 3rd through 26th with her partner Scott, and for the first half of that, her mom and dad were joining them on the trip. This was not only her mom and dad's first trip to Orlando, but it was also their first trip to the U.S. ever. Nats and Scott were so excited to share it with them, and you'll find out at the end if mom and dad are now Orlando people too. The only other thing I want to catch you up on, in case you missed their pre-trip report, is that they had special tickets that are available to UK folks through orlandoattractiontickets.com.uk, something like that. The link is in the show notes. That got them access to 14 days of Disney and 14 days of Universal fun. Through this holiday, the family was staying at an offsite villa in Kissimmee that Nats and Scott have stayed at before and have loved, and that link will also be in the show notes. Okay, that is all you need to know. So let's launch into this episode. Here is my conversation with Nats. Welcome back, Nats.
Hi, thank you so much for having me again.
You look like you've gotten a little sun since I saw you last time.
So I'll level with you that it's not real.
Oh, I was
Whilst
like, she's got that Florida glow.
whilst I wish it was real, the Scottish skin does not allow it.
Oh
So
my goodness, that is so funny. I'm laughing too because because we were just chatting that I just got back from my sister's wedding, and my sister and I are both pale, much like
yeah.
yourself, in our natural form. And she and her fiance both got spray tans for the wedding, and they both
Oh, I
looked
love it.
gorgeous, like perfection. But it took a little bit of getting used to just because it was like we are
So
both
different.
like glowing white usually, and to see both of them with like a nice deep glow and looking like they had just come back from vacation for their wedding day was amazing.
Oh, I love that. I love it.
Well, it looks very natural on you, I will tell you that much. I never would have guessed,
Thank you.
especially having just come back from a vacation. People would just assume that it's
Well, yeah.
from Florida. Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of comments about that. A lot since
Hmm.
I went back to work.
Well, let's talk all about this trip. So, first of all, I want to know, because you were staying off property in a villa in Kissimmee that was about 10 minutes drive from Disney, I believe. How was your experience with the villa?
Yeah, it was amazing. So we had actually stayed at that one before and
Mm-hmm.
we rebooked it because we loved it so much.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it was amazing. We had obviously took my mum and dad for their first time ever,
Mm-hmm.
and they had never been to America before, so they hadn't ever like experienced like a villa in Florida or anything like that, and
Mm-hmm.
they were just like blown away by it. Like they loved having like their own space,
Mm-hmm.
having like the pool there that we could like chill in if like we wanted to. Like it was lovely.
Mm.
And yeah, we love that villa. So we've actually, I don't know if you want me to say it yet. but
Oh,
we've booked
I'm guessing where you're
already.
going. You're pre-booked for
We've
next
booked
time?
already to go back there next year at the same time.
Oh, fantastic. I'll have to get the information on the villa if you'd like to share it so that anybody else who's looking for
Oh,
properties
yeah,
that might be good for them as
definitely.
options. Yeah. You also rented a car this trip. So, how was that experience getting the rental car? And you had it for the entire time, right?
Yes, yeah, we
Okay.
did. So, yeah, we always tend to hire a car when we go there. We use a website called Discount Florida Car Hire, and
Oh, okay.
they are awesome. And basically they compare like loads of different ones, but they are just incredible. Like they're such a great company. They're so easy to use. And we
Mm-hmm.
basically, I think we booked through them, but then it was like the company Sixt, SIXT, that
Mm-hmm.
we ended up hiring from. And when we got there, we literally went to the desk. They already had all of our details and they had already like assigned us a car. So it was a matter of like 2 minutes, signing a bit of paper. They gave us the
Mm-hmm.
keys and we were good to go. And we just walked straight out the terminal to our car.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Okay.
and it was a car called a Buick. I had never heard of this brand of car before.
It's a very American brand.
I had never heard of it. And we were walking towards it and I was like, that's not our car. And it was like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Like this big 7-seater car. And I was just like blown away by it. It was
Oh,
gorgeous.
wow. So was it an SUV or was it a van?
An SUV, yeah. It
Okay,
was it
perfect.
was beautiful, honestly. And I'm so glad because we had basically hired a lower car spec
Mhm,
and we were like, oh, I don't know what it's going to be like with the luggage because my parents were with us. So we cancelled it and then rebooked a bigger car. And I'm
right.
so glad we rebooked because we would never have gotten our suitcases into the smaller car if we had
Yeah.
went with that. So yeah, it was a good call.
Did Scott do most of the driving?
He did the majority, but I did do some
Okay.
driving.
Alright, good for
Um,
you.
Yeah, my I reversed out of our driveway and my dad was like, "Nats, you're doing so well. I'm so proud of you. Like, keep
Oh.
going, girl. But you're on the wrong side of the road." I was like, "Oh no." And now we keep laughing about it because he's like, "You're just yeah, not a clue."
I
But
feel like that's the way to do it for somebody is, like, totally compliment everything they're doing, and then the big reveal is, "Here's where you totally went wrong."
yeah. Yeah, now move.
Yeah. That's so funny. Oh my goodness. All right, let's walk through as much of this trip as you can recall. I don't know if you took notes on it because it was a massive trip of multiple weeks here. So we can kind of talk through it chronologically, but if you remember things later that you forgot to say, it's okay to just jump back in and say, "Oh
Awesome.
yeah, on this other day we did this thing and I forgot to mention it." That's fine. Listeners are going to be along for this journey regardless.
Awesome. Perfect.
Okay, let's start with your flight from the UK over to Orlando, which I think put you into MCO around 3:30 p.m. How
Yes.
did that all go?
Amazing. Like one of the best flights I've ever had. So Scott and I were in premium economy and my mum
Mhm.
and dad were in economy.
Mhm.
And I'd say just after the meal, my dad was like, "Oh, can we just swap for 10 minutes just so that I can like speak to Scott for a little bit?" Blah, blah, blah. So I went down the back to sit with my mum. And
Mhm.
3 hours later, my dad is still in my seat with Scott. And the two of them were just sat there having a drink, like chatting away and blah,
Mhm.
blah, blah. But honestly, it was one of the best flights. It went so quick. We
Mhm.
actually ended up landing at MCO around half two instead
Oh,
of half
wow.
three, which was amazing.
Okay.
And yeah, it was just the smoothest flight. The cabin crew were incredible. I had bought Scott some like happy birthday sunglasses and a badge, and they were
Aw.
like making him feel like super special. And everyone was like saying happy birthday as they went past and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So yeah, it was amazing. And yeah, it was just a lovely flight. It went so quick. I actually didn't even watch any of the movies on the flight because like by the time I had like eaten and then went
Mhm.
down the back, sat with my mum for a bit, and then came back. It was like almost time to land at that point, and it was just like, oh well, I'll just have a quick nap.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Wow.
it was amazing.
Your plan on the first day was to have some dinner and really kind of just stock up the villa with a grocery or Walmart type run. Did you end up going out to dinner before your
Yeah,
grocery run?
yeah, we did. So we love, I think I mentioned on the previous episode that we love this road called the US 192, and it's just
Mhm.
full of restaurants. And we went to a restaurant there that me and Scott had been to before called Sicky's. And it's basically like your typical American restaurant, like all of the burgers, the beer, like all that stuff. It was amazing. So we went there and we had some dinner there, and then we headed to Walmart to stock
Mhm.
up like some bits for the villa. Um, but I don't know if I mentioned before, I'm like completely obsessed with Chick-fil-A. And I mean like obsessed with it. It's all I think about when I'm at home because I'm such a fussy eater. Like
Uh-huh.
when I found Chick-fil-A, I was like, oh my God, something that actually has flavor that I like.
Mhm.
So I actually didn't eat at dinner. I just sat with my mum and that, and I had like a portion of like fries, and then I
Mhm.
went for a Chick-fil-A after just outside Walmart because I
Oh
was
my
like, I
goodness.
need one on the first night.
You know I don't know what the name of their sauce is. I think it might just be Chick-fil-A sauce. You can buy that in the grocery stores here.
Yeah, they've just released it in the grocery stores over here as well.
Oh, okay.
Our supermarket, Tesco, it's called. They've
Yeah.
just recently got it in, like literally like a week or so ago.
Okay. Yeah, I can't even say what it would taste like. I never go to Chick-fil-A. But, I mean, I've been before. It's just probably I'm gonna guess it's been like 20 years since I've
Oh,
been, so I have no idea. I have no idea. The new rage here in the chicken world, in the chicken industry, seems to be Raising Cane's,
oh, I've
which
heard of this.
yeah, I don't know. Like the kids are all into it. Alex was super excited when he found out there was one near my work, and
Oh,
so
good.
it's the big thing, I guess. I don't know. I've only eaten there once. As much as I do enjoy a chicken tender or whatever, it's just not something that I think to do on a regular basis. It's
Yeah.
more of
Well,
like a
maybe that's one
oh
for my next trip.
yeah yeah you should. All right, so your first full day was Sunday, May the 4th, and
Mhm.
May the 4th be with you was going on. And you had planned to start your day at Hollywood Studios. I'm imagining because of May the 4th, although I don't think we talked about it during your pre trip. So, how was this first full day?
Yeah, so I'm going to put it out there. I'm sorry, I'm not a Star Wars girl. Like,
That's
I'm
okay.
not. Um, so that wasn't the reason that we were going. The reason we were doing Hollywood Studios is just because it's like mine's and Scott's tradition.
Hmm.
Every first day that we have, we do Hollywood Studios. The first thing we do is Indiana Jones, the stunt show. Then we
Hmm.
go for lunch at Backlot. And then we do like starters, head over towards like Toy Story Land, like all
Hmm.
of that stuff. And that's just always what we do on our first day. I don't know why, but we just always do it.
Hmm.
Um, so that was
Well,
our
what a
plan.
day to pick to do that plan
Yeah.
because I'm sure it was insane.
Well, you would think, but it actually wasn't. Like,
Really?
I don't know if it was raining as well, so we were all like in our
Hmm.
ponchos. But
Hmm.
it was actually it wasn't as busy as what we thought it was going to be, and I don't know if it was because we purposefully chose to avoid Galaxy's Edge that day
Hmm.
and just skip that part because we knew we were going back to that park. So we are like, we can do it at another point. But
Hmm.
everything else was like so quiet, like it
I
was
bet that's why then. I bet everybody was
yeah.
in Galaxy's Edge.
Well, we did walk through Galaxy's Edge just to get to Toy Story,
Mhm,
and it was super busy in that section, but all
mhm.
the other parts were like completely fine. And we were like, oh,
Okay.
this is actually isn't as bad as what we thought it was going to be. Because we did
Yeah,
think about moving the schedule around a bit, and then we were like, oh, sorry, we've got time. We'll leave it as it is. So,
right. Yeah.
um, yeah, it was
Alright.
fine.
Did you make it over to Magic Kingdom that night for fireworks like you were hoping to?
We did. So we headed back to the villa, chilled at the pool for a little bit, and then got freshened up. And yeah, we then went back into Magic Kingdom for the evening. My mum and dad, bless them, obviously they hadn't ever done this like type of trip before, so they were
Mhm.
like, I think by the as soon as the fireworks ended, they kind of hit a wall, and we were all just like so tired. And then as soon as we got into the car after the fireworks, me and my dad like fell asleep in the car,
Mhm.
and just headed home. But yeah, we did get over. We did do the fireworks. Um, we grabbed a bit of food at, what's it called? Cosmic Rays,
Mhm.
the quick serve. We just
Uh-huh.
grabbed some food in there for dinner. And then yeah, had a little look in the shops on Main Street, and then yeah, we headed out. We didn't do any rides that night. We
Mhm.
literally just went for the fireworks.
So, this being your parents' first time in America and first time in a park like this, what were their impressions walking in that first time?
Yeah, I vlogged the whole trip, and I was watching it back the other day. And so for Hollywood Studios, like, they loved like the vibe and the atmosphere, but my
Mhm.
dad is like super scared of roller coasters, or was, because he hadn't done one in like 10 years, and he had
Mhm.
only ever done one in his life. And he's like scared of heights, he's scared of roller coasters, gets motion sickness. So he's the worst person ever to take to a theme park. Um, but he did it all. He was so scared, like in some of the queues,
Mhm.
and he was like quite quiet. But then after it, he was like, "No, that was amazing! Like I loved that! Like blah blah blah." And then I remember when we walked into Magic Kingdom, I've got a video of him, and he's like, "Wow!" He's like, "This is Disney." He's like, "I just feel so Disney." He's like,
Aw.
"Everywhere you look, there's someone singing or dancing in your face, or everyone's just
Mhm.
happy." And like, yeah, they loved it. Like they were completely consumed by it.
Yeah. Well, tell me more about what you did on this trip. Just walk me through it however you would like to walk through it.
So in my head, I've kind of like compartmentalized it into two sections. So like
Okay.
the first 2 weeks and then the last week. So the first 2 weeks were when my mum and dad were with us,
Mhm.
and we basically tried to cram so much in because it was their first time. We weren't sure if they'd ever come back. We wanted to give them like everything, like, or nothing, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Mhm.
And we literally just squeezed everything in that we could. So yeah, we did so much. We did basically all of the parks in those 2 weeks. We did like Universal as well. We did Epic Universe. We did Discovery Cove.
Oh, you made
World.
it to Epic Universe because when we
Yeah.
spoke the first time, you didn't think you were gonna make it into
Oh
that
yeah,
particular park.
sorry. Yes, I completely forgot I hadn't booked the tickets at this point. So
Mhm.
yeah, in the UK, it basically came out that we could then book a single day ticket, even if you weren't like an annual pass holder or a resident
Mhm.
or anything like that. And then yeah, we managed to get tickets for like the preview park
Okay.
dates.
Mhm.
So we got one of those as well, and we did that while we were there as well.
Oh my goodness. Well, what
Yeah.
did you think about that?
So I don't know if it was because we did the preview dates and a lot of things were closed, but
Mhm.
we we could appreciate how beautiful the park is. Like it is gorgeous, the theming is amazing, but we
Mhm.
were slightly underwhelmed by it,
Mm.
which I think people would be quite surprised to hear because I've heard people like saying how amazing it is.
Mhm.
Um, but we just were a bit underwhelmed, and I think it's also because a lot of like the lands are quite niche. I
Mhm.
think maybe not to everyone, but to us, because like
Right,
we
like, if you're not a Nintendo person, you can say, "Oh, that looks cool," but are you really gonna feel that connection with it if you're not a
exactly.
Nintendo person? Yeah.
Exactly. And Nintendo was the only land that we felt the connection with.
Mhm.
And all the others, like we're not massive Harry Potter people. We're not like we don't really watch like How to Train Your Dragon and stuff like that. So we were a
Mhm.
bit like, this is so cool, like it's cool to see, but I don't think we could appreciate it as much as what someone else could that
Right.
maybe does have that love for it. But in Nintendo world, we were stood there and we were like, oh my god, like I was like, this is my childhood because I loved Super Mario when I was younger.
Mhm.
Um so yeah, that was cool. We did some of the rides, but quite a few of them were closed while we were there, so we didn't get to do Harry Potter, the Ministry of Magic one.
Right.
We did do Stardust Racers, the big roller coaster. We did that twice, and that
Mhm.
was insanely good. Like it was so so good.
Mm.
And we did the Super Mario Minecart Madness ride, which
Mhm.
I was so excited to do because I'd seen it online. And then when we did it, we were a bit like, oh, was that it? Like we kind of thought it was going to be more.
Right.
Um, But yeah, I think we could appreciate it was a cool park. It was so cool to see, and I think if it wasn't the preview, then we might have a different experience with it or a different opinion of it. I think just because a lot of things were closed, we didn't get to see it in its full light.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, what else did you do?
Yeah, so we did all of the parks in those first 2 weeks. Like I say, we did Discovery Cove for the first time ever, and we absolutely loved it. Like that was one of our favorite days.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we swam with dolphins there, which was cool, but we kind of just loved like how chilled that park was. Like we could just chill out for the day, but we were still out and about at a park, and
Mm-hmm.
all your food was included and your drinks were included, and it just felt like a different experience that day. It was insanely good.
Mm-hmm.
um we of course did like all of the Disney parks. We tried a restaurant that we actually hadn't ever tried before but always wanted to, and it was the, I think I mentioned last time, the Space 220 at Epcot.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that was incredible. Like we absolutely loved that, and I think we may not do the restaurant every time, but we'll definitely do like the lounge next time we
Right.
go. We just absolutely loved it. We thought it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we did that. I'm trying to think what else. God, it feels like so long ago that we went. It was only like last week that I came back. Um, but yeah, we did all of that with them, and then when they left, we had Scott's birthday.
Yes.
So I decorated the villa for him for his birthday.
And this was
Um,
a big one too, right? It was the big 3-0.
yeah,
Yeah.
30, yeah, he was 30. So I decorated the villa. I brought him a cake, a Mickey Mouse cake.
Uh-huh.
Um, we went golfing that day, and then that evening we went to Disney Springs. And he
Mm-hmm.
always wanted to do the amphibious car from the boathouse. So I
Oh,
booked that
yeah.
for him, and he loved it. Like he
Oh.
genuinely loved it. Um, and then after that, he was like, "Why don't we go up in the balloon?" And I was like, "What?" And we did it, and I'm not joking. My legs went like jelly. I've never been scared of heights ever until I was up in that balloon and I could not move. I was literally like, "No, get me
I
down."
I heard the wind up there can be the scary part.
Yeah. When we were coming back down, it was like swaying side to side, and I was like, "Please just make this end."
Aw.
But we had a really cool, the gentleman that was working on the balloon. He was amazing. His name was John, and he was incredible. While we were up in the air, he
Mhm.
literally got everyone on the balloon to sing "Happy Birthday" to Scott, and then he
Uh-huh.
was like on his walkie-talkie to the people that he obviously works with, and he was like, "I've never done this before, but it's the best day of my life." Like he was like loving it. So
Aw.
yeah, he made it like super special, and it was just, yeah, it was such a lovely evening. So
Aw, that's
yeah,
cool.
that was a good day. And then yeah, my mum and dad had went home the day before Scott's birthday. So
Mhm.
yeah, we obviously spent his birthday doing all of that stuff. And then for the last week, it was just obviously Scott and I, and we did have like a little bit more chill, but we still like did like a few hours at the park in the day, a few hours at the park in the evening, and then we actually did the 4 park challenge on one of the days. And
Wow.
I loved that. Scott, not so much, but I loved it. It was
Oh my
insane.
goodness. And you wore special shirts for this day too, right?
So I actually took like 20 t-shirts with me,
Mhm.
but I think I wore like 2 of them because I was so hot over there because of how like warm it is this time of year. I was like, I can't wear a t-shirt. So I ended
Mhm.
up wearing like sports dresses most of the time because I was just so hot. But I did do one outfit per park on the 4 park challenge day. So like I was getting changed in the car when we got to like each of the parks, and it
Uh-huh.
actually helped a lot with like how hot it was.
I bet
So
it did. I bet it was nice to put on something clean at
yeah, exactly.
each stopping point. Well, tell me the order that you did things in.
Yes,
And
so
I should say the order you did things in, and did you have any other rules for yourselves? Because like when my son Alex and I did a 4-part challenge, our rule was that we had to ride at least one ride, have at least one snack, and take a photo in front of the park icon. So
that's exactly
what were
what
your
we did.
rules? Okay. Okay.
Exactly the same, except then I threw in the one outfit per park. Scott did not do the one outfit per park. That
Mhm.
was just me. But yeah, we did the same as you. So one snack, the photo, and then one ride. So we started with Animal Kingdom.
Mhm.
We
Makes
got
sense
there
because it opens the earliest.
exactly, yep. And when we got there, Avatar Flight of Passage was like a 40-minute wait.
Mhm.
And we were like, oh, and we love Avatar. So we were like, let's just do it. Let's just do it. So we just went and we did that one.
Mhm.
And we had actually did Avatar Flight of Passage the day before because we did Animal Kingdom the day before the 4 park challenge as well. But we were like,
Mhm.
we're doing it. So we went and did that first, and that was incredible as always. And we actually met a really lovely couple in the queue for Flight of Passage, and they were just the sweetest people ever. Like, it turns out the gentleman that we were speaking to used to be an NFL player, like in the
Mhm.
80s. He was lovely, but it was their first time doing it and they loved it as well. So yeah, that
Oh,
was
cool.
super cool. And then we headed round to the Tree of Life, got our photo, etc.
Mhm.
And I was desperate to try the new family churros. It's like a
Mhm.
sharing family churros. And I think I like
Oh,
under
wait, where are these from?
I can't remember the name of the little shack, but it's literally the as you're looking at the Tree of Life on the
Mhm.
right, there's like a little stand there, and
Oh,
it
I
was
know the stand you're
from there.
talking about. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so I
Hmm.
got them there. Um, I think I underestimated it though because you literally get like 21 pieces of like little churro, and I was like sat there myself, and Scott had already eaten that morning, so he was like having like a tiny bit, and I was like, I can't eat this. But they were incredible. They were so so good and so worth it. Like, I had
Oh.
waited all holiday for them, and they were
Mhm.
amazing. So yeah, we did that, and then we headed out of there, and God, I'm trying to remember now. We headed out of there and we headed to Hollywood Studios,
Mhm.
and I had put on my Sorcerer Mickey t-shirt with my
Uh-huh.
cycle shorts and my little Sorcerer Mickey ears. And we went and we did Toy Story Mania because that is our favourite ride in that park.
Mhm.
Scott beat me, which was not good
Oh.
because we had done it twice on the trip already and it was like one each. And then he
Mhm.
won overall because he
He
won
was
that.
the tiebreaker. Got
Yeah.
it.
So it wasn't good. But yeah, we did that. And then our snack there, we actually had lunch there. So we just
Mhm.
went to Backlot, which is our favourite, and we just had like chicken tenders, chips, all that. Sorry, chicken
Mhm.
tenders and fries. I always forget Americans fries. So we had that as like our little snack. And we got our photo, but then because I had my Sorcerer Mickey stuff on, I wanted to go meet Sorcerer Mickey. So I
Yes.
went and did that, and while I did that, Scott went and did single rider for Rock and Roller Coaster. So
Okay.
yeah, so we did that, and then we met back up afterwards. Um,
Nice.
and then we headed from there to Epcot,
Did you
and
do Skyliner or did you walk?
so because we had the car, we just drove, and it was
Oh,
literally a
I
five
forgot
minute
about the
drive
car.
to each of the parks, which was super
Okay.
easy. Um, but when we got there, we did standby queue for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mhm.
And it was posted as a 45-minute wait time. And then I was like, we were having a chat about it because I was like, I don't know if the 45 minutes is to the pre show part or is it
Right.
to when you physically sit in the cart?
That's a good
And
question.
I wasn't sure. In my head, I always think of the pre-show as like part of the ride. So
Mhm.
I was like, I'm taking it as that. And we got to the pre-show within 20 minutes.
Mhm.
And then we got on the ride and I checked the time again. And it was like literally when we sat in the car, that was 45 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, okay, that makes sense. So we did that and we got Conga as our song, which Scott was
Mhm.
very happy about. Um, and then we headed to where did we go after that? We headed over to the Italy pavilion
Mhm.
and we got some gelato because we are obsessed with the gelato from this little stand at Italy. It's literally just outside Italy. I can't remember the
Yes.
name of it for the life of me, but it just sits
I
there
don't
out.
even know if it has a name. I feel like it's just The gelato
Gelato.
stand.
Yeah. But the gelato from there is incredible. Like, we get it every time we go to Epcot. A
Mhm.
scoop of vanilla and a scoop of cookies and cream, and we share it. And we were just sat there, like, on the wall at Epcot, and it was so hot. And we were like,
Mhm.
oh, this is the life. It was
Yeah.
amazing. Um, so yeah, we did that, and then we headed from there over to Magic Kingdom.
Mhm.
And we basically ended at Magic Kingdom because that was our final day of our Disney tickets. So our
Got
Disney
it.
tickets ran out that day. So I was like, I kind of want to end our Disney with fireworks. So
Mhm.
that's why we kind of left that to last. So we went there and we did Tron.
Mhm.
No, we didn't do Tron. Sorry, I'm completely lying. We did Space Mountain. I did Tron on another
Okay.
day. We did Space Mountain and we what snack did we get there? I think we got like a Rice Krispie Mickey bar or something like that from there.
Mhm.
And we also had some dinner in there as well. Like Scott got like a burger and stuff like that in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we had like a Mickey bar thing. I'm pretty sure we did. And I also had Powerade slush from there as well.
Mhm.
So we had that there, and then we watched the fireworks, and then we went shopping on Main Street because my friend Lisa, who also does the Disney stuff like on Instagram and YouTube,
Mhm.
um, I wanted to get her something to take
Mhm.
home. So we were like, we spent so long in these shops on Main Street
Mhm.
looking for something that I could take home for Lisa. Um,
Aw.
and by the end, Scott was like, "You are buying her this. Take it to the checkout."
He
But
was
yeah,
over it. He was like, "Just pick something, please." And
literally.
Lisa, you sent my way, and so I have already spoken with her.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
so
have.
we did a
Yes.
pre-trip interview, so I'm looking forward to talking to her after her trip is over.
Yeah, she goes so soon. And that was like the nice thing because like I was so excited for our trip. And then
Mhm.
when it was over, I was like, oh man, like it's done. And I was like, oh, but I can live through Lisa. Like she's going to be
Right.
posting, she'll be phoning me, like telling me all about it. Like,
Yeah.
so that was super nice. So yeah, I've got her vlogs to look forward to now that I'm back. So yeah.
Yeah, and I will make sure that both of your information is in the show notes so people can follow along with both
Oh,
your
thank
trip
you.
and Lisa's trip. And I'll do the same on hers so that your stuff will be posted in hers.
Oh, bless you.
Um,
Thank you.
I have a couple of things that you had mentioned during your pre-trip that I wanted to ask about. So,
Yes.
first of all, you were talking about going over to Kennedy Space Center. Did that happen?
Yes. Yes, it did. Sorry. It feels like so long ago that I completely
That's
like
okay.
my head is fried. We did go. So we
Mhm.
drove down and it was actually one of our favorite days. Like we actually loved it. It was so, so good. And what I would say is if you can be down that way for more than
Mhm.
just one day, like do more than one day at it because
Hmm.
there's a lot to see, there's a lot to do, and it is just incredible. Take in every moment because,
Mhm.
like, I was so humbled when I was there, like, by everything and what was going on and what people had like experienced, and like, it was just incredible. Honestly, we absolutely
Mm.
loved it, and yeah, I've done a vlog on that as well over on my channel. I'm
Oh,
actually
perfect.
editing it at the moment so that it can go out this week.
Perfect.
But
Can't wait to
yeah,
see that.
it was awesome.
All right. Another off-site thing that you had talked about maybe trying to do was Gatorland. Did you
Yeah,
go to
no,
Gatorland?
we didn't. No, do you know what? We just because of everything we were trying to squeeze in for like my mum and dad, like with the parks and stuff,
Right.
we just didn't have time. We did, however, experience some gators because we we go to celebration and some of the mornings and like sit
Right.
by the lake with like a coffee and like just watch the world go by, and there was little gators like right in front of us in the lake there. And then
Mhm.
also we went to a mini golf on the US 192 called Congo River,
Mhm.
and there you can base there's like loads of gators in this like pool thing that they have there,
Mhm.
and like you can feed them and stuff there, so we've seen some gators there as well
Okay.
when we were there.
Okay. And then you were surprised by Scott with tickets to H2O Glow Night. Tell
Oh
me
my
all about
god,
that.
yes, that was honestly, when I say that was the best night that we had on that holiday, I can't even explain. I knew it was going to be good, but
Mhm.
I just didn't think it would be as good as what it was. I was like blown away by it. And now, if it's on any time that I go to Florida, I will not skip it. Like, I will
Mm,
always do it because it was just incredible.
mhm,
Um, we actually went to Typhoon Lagoon. We were very silly and we went on a Saturday
mhm.
and we didn't get on a single slide. It was just so busy. The queues were like an hour long for the slides.
Ugh, no.
The wave pool was just so crowded, and we ended up leaving after a few hours. That and the fact it started thunder and lightning, so
Oh,
we
yeah.
left. But we were quite fortunate that we then had H2O glow nights because that's like limited capacity.
Yeah.
So everything was like a walk on and
Mhm,
it was so quiet everywhere. The vibe was just insane. Like it was so I
mhm.
can't explain how happy that night made me. Like it was so good.
I have done H2O glow nights twice now, and it's the only way I've ever done Typhoon Lagoon. So I'm a little bit spoiled because you're right. You go in there, there's absolutely no wait. You can do everything you want to do multiple times,
Yeah.
and it's just so relaxing. And it's cool to be there at night, you know?
Oh, it's just a different experience, isn't it? We
Mhm.
have done Typhoon Lagoon before, like midweek when it's been like super quiet and
Mhm.
we've got on everything like super quick. But now that we've done H2O glow nights, we're like
Yeah.
we would just do that instead because honestly, we were a bit like skeptical about like are we going to come out the water late at night and it's going to be freezing because we're wet and it's nighttime? And we were like,
Mm.
I don't know why we thought that because we were in Florida. But we got out the water and we were like roasting still. Like it was still really hot and we were like, this
Yeah.
is insane. And it was just, yeah, like I say, the vibe was just incredible. You could
Mhm.
just tell everyone was so happy to be there. And I was just stood at one point and I was like, I'm on a beach at 11 o'clock at night with Buzz Lightyear in my bikini. Like, what is my life? it
Oh
was
my
it was just
goodness.
insane. It was so good.
Did you do I cannot remember what it's called, but the tallest one where it's, like, straight down?
I don't know. Because I thought that was at Blizzard Beach.
No, they have one that's similar at Typhoon Lagoon.
So I did one at Typhoon Lagoon, and it was like three slides, and they're like straight down. And I did that, and I've got a video on my underwater camera of me doing it. And at the end, I'm like moaning because I'm like, oh my god, that was so sore, like because the water at the bottom just like completely like hurt my back.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I don't know if I did the big one that you're mentioning.
I think it's called Humunga Kawabunga.
Yes, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yes, where it's straight
There's
down.
three. Yeah, yeah. There's
Yeah,
three of them next to each other, and
yeah,
it's literally just straight. Honestly, the force of the water on that. When I
yeah.
got to the bottom, Scott turned to me, and the two of us were like, "Ow!" Like that was so sore. And after it, I was like limping away, like Scott, I don't want to do that again. But no, it was so good. It was so good.
I like the one that's, it's a water coaster. I think it might be Crush and
Crush and
Gusher.
gusher.
Yeah, I because I like going down the little slides and being pushed
Yeah,
back up the next one. It's
it
really
is
fun.
amazing. That's one of our favorites. We love that one.
You were also planning on this trip to do a little Epcot drink around the world with your parents.
We did.
So, how did that go? Was everyone still standing at the end?
We were, yeah, we did do it, and we were actually okay at the end. It was so cool because during it, it started like really heavy thunder and lightning, and I'm
Mhm,
talking like forks of lightning. Like it was so cool. So at one point, we were sat at the China Pavilion,
mhm,
and no, was it China or was it Japan? Whatever one it was. We were sat there
mhm.
with our drinks on the wall, and it starts raining, and we don't even care. We're just sat there and we're just watching this lightning in the sky, and like my dad loves thunder and lightning, so he was like, this is the best day ever, I've got a
Aw.
beer, there's lightning, I'm on holiday. Like, it was just so fun. And then my dad, like, he started this little like league on his phone. So he was like rating all of the countries out of like whatever he was. Him and Scott were winding me up on my vlogs, and they were rating everything out of 7.5 just to annoy me. Um, so he was rating them all out of 7.5, and he got to like the British one, and he was like, "This is amazing, I love this." And then that was like leading for a long time.
Hmm.
And then he went to the America Pavilion, and he was like, "Oh no, this is better." He
Okay.
was like, "The vibe round here, like the music's on in the background, like all that stuff." But that was like a nice little added thing that like we could
Hmm.
focus on, like was rating everything and how we like enjoyed it and stuff.
Yeah. Did you each get your own drink in every country, or were you splitting?
So my dad got one in every country.
Wow.
Me and Scott shared in all the countries. My mum,
Okay.
she doesn't drink, so she
Hmm.
wasn't. But yeah, me and Scott shared, and my dad, he had one in every country.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have you converted them to be Disney people?
So we have, and on the last day of their trip, we took them to the airport, and my dad was like crying. He did not want to leave. He was ready for like extending their trip by a week and just
Wow.
staying for the last week with us. And my mum couldn't because of her work.
Hmm.
So they flew home, and then the next day, my mum was like, "My boss said I should have just extended and stayed, and now I'm so sad."
Oh
And yeah,
no.
but they've now booked some time off at work to come back next year with us.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
so they loved it.
Well done, Nats. You did it.
I did it. I did it.
All right. I know you had some fun dining plans. I think you were planning to go to STK for Scott's birthday. Did that
Yeah.
end up happening? Okay.
Yeah, it did. So
How was it?
we went there. It was really nice actually. Scott loved his steak that he had there. It's such a nice like atmosphere and vibe in there, which was nice.
Hmm.
What I would say though is there's a restaurant that we go to on the US 192
Hmm.
that we love. It's called Outback Steakhouse.
Yes,
And
it's a chain. I'm familiar.
is it? Oh, well,
Yes.
that
Oh
one.
my God, it's everywhere. I got one down the road here in New York
Oh,
City.
amazing. Scott is obsessed with it, like obsessed. And
Hmm.
we took my mom and dad there one of the nights, and they were like so shocked by like how amazing the food is,
Hmm.
like for the value of the money that you pay. Like
Uh-huh.
we were so blown away by like the price of it in comparison to how amazing it was. Um so STK was amazing, but I genuinely think in future we would probably do Outback Steakhouse over STK, and that's not
Hmm.
just a price thing. It's just like the service that we get at Outback Steakhouse and the choice of food that you have on the menu, like all of that, we just absolutely love.
Hmm.
But STK was a really nice experience.
Did you have a bloomin' onion at Outback?
I didn't. Is that the big, massive onion ring thing? So my
Yes,
dad
where you
did
like
ask Scott
pull
to
it off.
share it with him, but
Hmm.
Scott was like, "No, I had a big lunch. I cannot."
Did you go to any other restaurants in Disney Springs over the course of your trip?
Yes, so we did Planet Hollywood. We always tend
Mhm,
to go there at least one night. So we did that. I had a little cocktail in there. We had a little dessert. It was so nice.
mhm,
Um, and then we also did one that we hadn't done before. We did it just me and Scott. And it was the Wolfgang Puck restaurant.
mhm.
So
Yeah,
we went there, and that was so nice. It was so
mhm.
lovely. I just loved like how cozy it felt in that restaurant as well. Like
Yeah,
it was so chill and lovely.
yeah.
And then another night, me and my mum had had a late lunch, Chick-fil-A, of course. Um, and we didn't eat that evening because we had eaten late anyway. And my dad and Scott went to Blaze Pizza while me and my
Mhm.
mum went and did some shopping at World of Disney. So yeah,
Okay.
that as
Did
well.
you do any of the little dessert spots while you were there, like Ghirardelli or Amaret's or any
No,
of those places?
we didn't, unfortunately. I'm not really a massive dessert person, which
Mhm,
this is it's so funny because when I'm over there, I don't snack a lot, which is like
Mm-hmm.
so weird. Like my friends are like, "What are you doing? Like the snacks are incredible, eat them." But I'm like, see, because I'm so hot and
Yeah.
like I'm so like on the go, I don't even think about like snacking or anything.
Yeah.
And I went back to work this week, and one of my colleagues was like, "You're the only person that goes to America and loses weight." I was like, well, and it's just because like I literally like I barely eat over there. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so we didn't do many dessert spots, no. We just like if we were having dinner somewhere and like we liked the look of something, we'd maybe like share something or something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, we didn't do any specifics.
All right. What about character meals?
Not this trip actually. No, we didn't. We didn't.
Okay.
So we were
I
going
know
to
you
do.
were thinking about it. You were trying to decide where you might do that, but
Yeah, I think just like with trying to like fit everything in for like my
mm-hmm.
parents and then have time out of the parks and yeah, we just didn't. We just lost track, I think, of like how many days we had and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't. Um but we said that like next time we go, so my parents are going to come for 3 weeks as well next year.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have a lot more time, and because they've done all of the parks now, we can like tone down like how much park stuff we do,
Mm-hmm.
and we can do like a lot more just like chilling or doing a lot more of like restaurant experiences or stuff like that, which would be quite nice. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
next time we will do a lot more because I need to go back to Crystal Palace. I need to
Yes, you
see
do.
Eeyore.
Yes, and you need to have those churro waffles.
Yes, yes. I need to do the breakfast instead this time.
All right. Well, I think we've got a pretty good gist of your trip. Hopefully, all of the listeners will head over to your YouTube channel, which is Nats Ventures, and that's
Yeah.
Nats Ventures, and check out all of the details of your trip. I see that you have already started posting your travel day and the first couple of days. So, based on how long this trip was, we got a lot more fun to come and to anticipate on this channel. So,
Yes, definitely.
thank you so much for joining me, Nats. I really have enjoyed talking to you, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week. And I guarantee you, I'll be watching all your YouTube videos.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. I've enjoyed speaking to you, and yeah, this has been awesome. So thank you so much.
Thank you again to Nats for joining me on the show and also for sending your good friend Lisa my way. Listeners can look forward to my episodes with Lisa in July. Thank you all, as always, for tuning in and for continuing to support the show. There are so many ways to do that, from engaging with my social media posts to sending the show link to a friend you know will love it too. It all helps get the podcast into more people's Mickey ears. That is enough for today. I will see you all back here next week for the season 4 finale. In the meantime, keep daydreaming about where you long to be.